EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. The two teams emerging from their respective tunnels a minute ago to the approval of this Baltimore crowd. They're all set as their Ravens will match up with the Arizona Cardinals. Two teams here, each off to 1-0 starts as this one is underway on EA Sports.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Here we go. Set. Hey, go. Ready? Double tight, guys. Double tight. Even. 4 down. Even.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and it'll be a second down.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot. Because we saw the catch there, right? He made it. He's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3.
I don't even know why this team showed up. Slam.
From the gun, Jackson. Over the middle, complete. That's Andrews. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. This is David Johnson, the former All-Pro. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. A lot of people felt Johnson was a little misused during what was a disappointing 2018. 940 yards on the ground, 7 touchdowns. Great for most, but not the season Johnson was hoping for. And he said this offseason, there are a lot of good running backs in the NFL, but I'm the best. And now he's trying to prove it, hoping to get back to the production that sent him to the Pro Bowl in 2016. That would certainly help his rookie quarterback. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Here we go. Out of base.
To throw is Murray. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. It means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Bring it. 43 is the mic, boy. 43. Check, 43. Let's go,
They go to the former Saint, Mark Ingram. And this play a lot like the previous one, thanks to that stout Cardinal defense. Back-to-back, they've been tackled behind the line.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
Alert 3.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ingram. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll be 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. Back deep, Patrick Peterson. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away.
The Cardinals take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
On 2nd down now, it's Johnson. He'll get 2 yards back, but it's going to leave him with a long 3rd and 13.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second.
And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Marching in for the sack, Matthew Judon.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
At their own 32-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule.
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. The sack by Terrell Suggs. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. From the gun, it's a run for Ingram. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. Baltimore was the most run-heavy team in the league last year after Lamar Jackson took over as a starter. And you think about Mark Ingram. He goes from a situation where he was sharing time with Kamara in New Orleans. Now he figures to be the top guy in the Baltimore backfield. Although I guess you could say he's kind of splitting time with his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. But a great veteran presence Mark Ingram is behind Jackson. Ingram now in his 9th NFL season. On 3rd down, Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. And that will be incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Cardinal football here to start quarter number 2 as they are looking at a 2nd down and 6 coming up. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Gets this to Isabella on the jet sweep. He'll have a first down and more past the 20. And all the way up to the 21-yard line. 11 yards there, first down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
Going to get this to his rookie. That's Andy Isabella. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
On 2nd and inches. Murray nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Matt Judon able to record his 5th sack of the season.
That play was hard to see. One play goes wrong, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and very long, but they have been in 2nd and inches.
Yeah, I know you like the idea of taking a shot on 2nd and inches, but you can't take a sack for that big of a loss.
That's the one thing you cannot do. They gave it up, and now they're way behind the chains. Good luck with this next play call.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
With it is Brown. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And they're coming off a 3 and out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Hey. Shut go. Here's the mic. 43's the mic. Here we go.
They toss to Ingram. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Oh, Patrick Peterson, the shutdown corner, was there on the coverage. Here's Sam Cook now as he's on to punt for Baltimore. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away.
Let's go.
Cardinals take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Ready.
ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
A pickup of 24, and that's where the play began, the 24-yard line. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
On second down, Johnson. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Let's get it.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third.
Right here, right here.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
From midfield now, here's Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. Throwing again on second down. Jackson. Throw left side complete. It's Ingram. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Who that? 43 is the mic. 43 is the mic. Yeah.
Jackson from the shotgun. Finds Roberts left side. And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Let's go now.
So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears try to go for it on 4th.
Yeah, Jim. Go. 43 is the what? Go. 43. Check. 43. I got one. Hopper. Yup. Slow. Set. Hut.
Yeah, that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. Here's Sam Cook now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it.
The Cardinals take over
We got
first
this.
and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Murray looks to throw again, 2nd and 10. Looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 26. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
43. Mike's 43. Watch the run, Chad. Watch the run. Where'd he go? 43 is the Mike. 43 is the Mike. You must be clean. Jam. Check safety.
After the interception, here's Jackson. And an alley to run. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And he'll find his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. To throw is Jackson. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
Loss of 3 brings up 3rd and 12.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Jackson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. Tucker's kick is good. So we have reached halftime with our score 10-0 as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They go to Johnson again. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Murray going to try to throw on 3rd down. Flushed out right. He can run for it, and he will. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Kyler Murray, a 1,000-yard rusher as a quarterback in his Heisman campaign in Oklahoma. He's got the 1st down. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
We got 3.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Bird. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack?
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
He'll get 5 out of the keeper, but now it's 3rd down.
I'm going to hit you.
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Now this time Murray to throw it. And the throw there going to be incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Here's the veteran punter Lee as he sends this one away.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Go, go, go. Switch it, switch it, switch it. Come on, switch it.
They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
At the 3-yard line.
Boom, boom. Here we go. 43 is the mic. Check, check, 43. It's a party now. It's a party now. Deuce, 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 deuce. Check 3, check 3, check 3.
From the gun, it's Jackson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick. And they'll be at the 18-yard line. Great field position here in the red zone. Well, they were obviously backed up. Had a little bit of space from the goal line, snapping it from the 3, but still try to throw it. And
yeah, exactly. This is where hindsight is 20/20 comes into play, right? Seems like a good idea to throw the ball there. Maybe you'll surprise him and catch him off guard. Instead, you've created a turnover and put your defense in a bad spot.
It'll be a loss of 7 on the play, and it'll be a 2nd and long. Second down, Murray sets to throw. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Matt Judon in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Now that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot, 3rd and long. Murray with a 3rd and long. Oh, now Murray has it stripped.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And this won't get there, won't be online either. It's no good, off to the right, and this score will stay right where it is. Down here in the 3rd quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the second miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's going deep for Brown. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. To throw again, Jackson. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. The linebacker, Jordan Hicks, flying in there for the sack.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
58, right over there, right over there. Go, Mike, 58, right there. Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it.
Now Jackson throwing on 3rd and long. And he's got the rookie from Oklahoma, Marquise Brown. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Hollywood, Marquise Brown. His 2nd touchdown on the season as the Ravens push further out in front. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Well, the first play in the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now this time he'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. That's complete to Edmonds, his running back. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 39 yards the distance covered on the catch and run. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Back now in Baltimore. It's Cardinal football, but they trail here as we get set to bring you the 4th and final quarter.
Let's go, tight end.
1st and 10. Here's Murray. He gets it left side to Johnson. They've moved the ball over 50 yards between this play and the last one. Before this season started, Johnson said this new offensive system would allow him to really be effective in the passing game. He actually likened it to 2016 when he had almost 900 receiving yards. He said one of his goals is to become the 3rd player in league history to hit 1,000 yards rush. Looking for his tight end Clay, and it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops. It's tight end Clay, the intended receiver.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
On 2nd and 12, Jackson. And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone can go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
51 yards on the punt there. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at their 48-yard line.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. On 2nd and 9, Murray. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 38, and his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. And that was a young pup, the rookie, being intercepted by a veteran DB.
And I loved our quick conversation in pregame with him on the field where he said, hey, look, I love playing these young quarterbacks. They don't know a whole lot yet, so I can use my mind to put me in a position to make.
This is caught inside the 15. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far as the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead is now 24. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll return this one all the way onto the other side of the field.
Even after that big-time return, it's not looking great for them today. But if nothing else, even if the miracle doesn't happen, they can turn to this play and say, hey, we can move forward. Maybe it's a building block for the rest of the season.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. And give him a gain of 37.
This is one of those plays that has an equal chance of either being a big gain or a big loss. But with the college influence, we're seeing more of these plays come into the NFL.
Here's Murray. Stepping up, hammering for the goal line. He loses the football, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, partner, I think it's safe to say they can mark this down as extremely frustrating. Here we are in the fourth quarter, and that last play, that turnover, I think it epitomizes what happened to them all day on offense.
So symbolic, and that's why they're still being shut out.
Bang, 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 bang. No. Off. Check 31, check 31.
The drive starts here with a carry by Ingram. And he'll take this up to about the 7 or 8 yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Jackson, he goes full extension, and he's got it. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
And that's how you throw for a whole heap of yards in a game. You get efforts like that from your receivers. How about him laying out for that catch?
Yeah, excellent. Makes the quarterback look a whole lot better. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
A good solid game there on first down, but the defense has to be happy they didn't let it pop for anything bigger.
Jackson's going to throw it. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Andrews. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds left to go in the game. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. The toss right. This is Ingram. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their 2nd, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. On 2nd and 12, Jackson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Chandler Jones able to record his 5th sack of the season. The Cardinals forced to burn their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. A 10th carry here for Mark Ingram. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. That winds up being a 4-yard loss and leads to 4th down.
Yes, indeed. That play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with to have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball snapped. And make a play. How about that tackle for a loss?
Absolutely. He did a lot of that last week when he was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. One of the guys on the team was saying, hey, yeah, we called him the disruptor, and that's carrying forward again.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory, and this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
No, they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way. But the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field. So you've got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides will end up getting one.
So for the Ravens, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, for the Cardinals, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at